So right now the exterior piece is done, and we're going to start working with the lining. So let me grab my lining slip pocket eye pieces. Okay, so we're going to clip the right sides together, and we're going to leave an opening on the bottom, about 3 inches for turning. So what I am going to do is, I'm not going to pin. If you feel comfortable not pinning, don't pin. I'm not going to. The pieces are holding on to each other quite nicely. So we're going to go all the way around, and again leave like a 3-inch opening on the bottom for turning. Go back to my regular stitch length. Pivot, back 1 stitch. Okay. Pivot. Okay, make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, pivot again. All right, that's my opening. And I like to go down only because it makes it easier when you pull the piece out and you stitch the closing together. And I don't have to guess where it ends and where it begins. I'm going to trim my edges, my corner pieces. To reduce some bulk. Then I'm going to flip it inside out. All right, I have a turning tool that I use. You will not find these at the store anymore. When I used to do cake decorating, this was one of the tools I used to use when I made flowers. So I have extra ones. So now I keep one in the sewing room for my corners, and they won't poke through the corners because it's a rounded tip. So I love this tool. And then I just turn it, run it up. Same thing with this corner. So now what I'm going to do is go to the ironing board and flatten that. I'll be right back. Okay, here's my lining piece pressed. And while I was at it, I changed the color of my thread to red because we're working on the lining pieces. And I really don't want the black to stick out. So we will now be pulling front and back lining pieces. So this is it. This is H, piece H. I'm going to find my centers and clip them. And I'm going to do it with both. And these pieces I did interface because I like to have a sturdy lining, and since I am using cotton, and I believe this is a Kona cotton, which is sturdier than your regular cotton fabric. And I absolutely love the Kona cotton. So I'm gonna, this will be my top. Yes. Let me find the center to this. This will be on the inside, so I won't see it. It'll be against this fabric. Actually, that's not bad at all. Okay, like I said, I switched my thread to red. This is the bottom. So that's the top. And what we're going to do is find the center. I'm just going to pinch top and bottom. There we are. This one's kind of hard to see. There we go. Okay, now in the instructions it tells you how far down to go. I'm going to put the back piece to the side for now. So this is going to be the lining front piece. We're going to center the slip pocket. All right, I'm going to pin it in place. Again, we'll grab one of my other rulers. Actually, this will work. So line it from the top. Center point. Line it up there. Okay. Now, we're going to go all the way around. Opening is on the bottom, so that will be closed. I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to hold it down. I'm not going to pin it in place, and hopefully it won't shift. Feel free to pin in place if you feel comfortable doing so. Now we'll be stitching this all the way around except for the top. So I started at the bottom just to keep it aligned and so that it won't shift so much. Pivot here, go up this side. Back stitch at find that if I start at one corner piece, go down and all the way around, that my fabric does shift. Yes, maybe I should have used pins so it wouldn't shift, but this is what I did. So since it's red on red, you can't really see the stitches too much. It. So if you're going to use pins, yes, make sure you pin on the inside to keep it straight. Start from the top, go all the way around. I didn't. I started in the corner, worked my way around, and then went back up. So we're going to move on to the lining zipper pocket. J1, J2. This is my zipper pocket facing, which I have interfacing on. And zipper pocket lining, which I did not interface because this is a thick fabric. Look at the purples in there. That's going to be pretty. Definitely. Okay. So now what we're going to do is locate the back of H. This is the piece that I did not use, so this is the back. And we're going to draw lines on the back. I'm going to grab my ruler and center make sure you cut your centers. I did mine here. I did it on the bottom, top and bottom here, and the top there. Make sure everything is aligned. I'm gonna pin it in place so that it doesn't move. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this here. I'm going to cut the corners. Actually, before I cut the corners, I'm going to stitch down the bottom and the top, which I should have done before I cut it. But you know what? It's okay because I pinned it in place. Alrighty. Now I'm grabbing my scissors and I'm going to cut from that end to that corner without going through the stitch. So just make sure you go right up to the stitch and not past. If you go past, I recommend you go back to the sewing machine, sew past it, and come back up. Okay? So as close as you can without cutting through the thread on all four corners. Okay. pins out because I don't need them anymore. Alright. I'm going to press the edges because we're going to flip this to the back. This will make it easier for me. Feed it through the back. So by cutting close to the edge, you get a nice square toward the end with no bulking. So let's see what the other side looks like. I'm going to press, finger press, and then I'll go to the machine, to my ironing board, and press that in place. So there's a little bulking here, so I'm going to turn it around and see if I can get any closer without cutting through the stitch. Yeah, definitely have room. Okay. Let's see. This is always the hardest part for me. Yes, good. All right, I'm going to take this to the ironing board, iron that flat, and I'll be back so we can add the zipper. Okay, so we need your other, the other zipper that's smallest of the, it's the second largest zipper. Okay, so now that we have our zipper, we're going to grab one of the lining zipper pockets. There we are. Let me move this out of the way for the moment. Lining zipper pocket, zipper. And we are going to stitch on the top. Make sure my zipper will be closing to the left, opening to the right. Zipper's a little bit bigger, but that's okay because I will trim it off. I will need my zipper tape. Okay, trying to see which side I like, but you know what? It kind of looks the same both sides. One-eighth inch double-sided tape. This is my favorite one for zippers because it stays out of the seam allowance. Tear that off. All right, this way. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna sew that in place according to the seam allowance mentioned in the pattern and the instructions. Don't forget to backstitch beginning and end. Okay, I'm going to flip that up. Okay, now that I have flipped the zipper up, I'm going to turn this around. Zipper will be closing to the right, and I'm going to pin this on the back. So what I'm actually going to do is use double-sided tape, put it on the back side, and stitch that in place. Remove the backing, or not. Come on. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to line this up. Actually, let me trim it so it'll be easier for me to align it. If you feel more comfortable, stitch about 1/8 of an inch on both ends, on either ends of the zipper, so that your zipper does not pull out. Totally up to you. I feel okay without doing that. I try to keep my zipper pull in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna line these up. And then, like before, stitch that side. Same seam allowance as stated in the pattern. Okay. Maybe I need to check my bobbin. Oop. Okay, fine. Totally fine. Oh. That's funny. Okay. I don't think it was my bobbin. My thread was trying to come out of the spool holder. Okay. So now that's done. Voila. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to flip this way so that my zipper, again, closes to the left. I hope I'm getting this on camera. Yeah. Okay. So that my zipper closes to the left. Now we're going to take your facing piece, and we're going to center the zipper within that box. All right, so what I am going to do is put double-sided tape on the zipper instead of here, because I would rather have it on the edge of the zipper and know that it's going to stay within my seam allowance and not on the other facing piece. There we go. Now, okay, I'm filling the back here, which should line up with this. So I'm going to start with my top. Okay, all right, just a reminder, this is going to be your top. So if you want it to close to the left, make sure your zipper pull closes to the left. All right, so I'm going to start stitching here, work my way around. Come back around. Alrighty. Zipper is done. Now we're going to pull this down. And I'm going to stitch the sides, but we're going to leave this open because this is where we're going to turn the bag. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the bottom edge to even it up. And then I'm going to flip this up. So when I stitch the sides, the bottom will be open. All right. So let me do that first. Okay. I'm going to go to the ironing board, and to make life easier for me, I'm going to fold this up probably about 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch. All right, so I'll be right back. Okay, I pressed it up. Note that the pattern does not indicate to fold this up. I'm doing this for myself, for when I stitch it at the end. All right, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over to the front side, turn this back, and we're going to stitch down either side. All right, regular seam allowance. And remember to back stitch on both sides. do the same thing on this side. This way, just make sure that your front pocket is folded back. All done. Pocket is closed. Bottom is open. Okay, now we're going to pull the remaining zipper, which is the main zipper that goes on top of the bag. Here's my zipper. I'm going to burn the ends. Come on, baby. Alrighty. Put my zipper pull on. This time I'm going to use a different zipper pull because it will be at the top of the bag. Yes. Okay. So we have that. This is going to be my beginning. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch the end, and then we're going to turn the top piece back. I'm going to mark one end. I'm using my chalk for this. And then at the other end, I'm going to stitch it closed. Okay. I normally don't close my zipper ends or stitch over them, but I'm going to do it to the main zipper. Okay, now here, I'm going to fold back. Okay, I'm going to tack that down on at my marking, pinch, and tack it like that. All right, so just to be on the safe side, I'm going to put a little pin there because knowing me, it'll move out of place. So you can do this by hand or do this on the sewing machine. Because I have a longer tail here, I'm okay with doing it on the machine. Alrighty, and I'm going to do the other side the same way. I'm going to pinch and do the same thing. go. Just clip my threads first. All right, so there we are. Top is done. The bottom is tacked. We need our zipper tabs. Okay, so to do our tab for the end, the pattern calls for the piece like this, which I'm not going to give you the dimensions because it does come with a pattern piece. You're going to put interfacing in the middle. You're going to fold the long edges in, then the short edges, and all this is going to be at the edge of the interfacing. You can press that in place or use double-sided tape. Then what you're going to do is fold it in half so that you can get a nice square piece. All right, and when you do that, make sure you burn your edges. It goes at the end. You can put double-sided tape to hold it in place, and then do your box and your crisscross. All right, or just do a boxed. I'm going to do it different, but I wanted to show you how it's shown in the pattern. I decided to cut a piece of vinyl because I love the rose with the spider, so I want the rose to be on the front. So I'm going to add double-sided tape to both sides because I do not want it to shift. And then have to take it out again. So cut 2 pieces of double-sided tape. There and there. It's fine that it's sticking out because what I'm going to do is peel it and tuck it in. All right. This is going to be the front. I'm going to try to center it. This is my center piece. I'm going to keep my finger there. Feed this through and make sure that my zipper tape stays within the vinyl. I'm going to pinch at the end, close that, close this side, and there we are. So I'm going to stitch around the edge, around the whole box edge. Again, you do whichever method you prefer, whether it's with the fabric or vinyl. Because I'm using vinyl, I want to add a pop of color at the end to match the vinyl on the bag. And there you are. There is my zipper end. Now, like I said, I will edge coat the edges after I'm done. I'll do that later. Okay, so once your zipper tab is done, we're going to make the casing for either side of our zipper. Now, zipper casing is 1 piece of fabric, unlined, and here are your interfacing pieces, 4 pieces. Now the pattern asks you to sew a line straight down the middle and then cut it in half. There's my marking. I'm going to cut this in half down the middle. I'm going to be as precise as possible because it's going down either side of our fabric pieces, of our zipper, sorry. Okay, I need a new pair of scissors. Anyway, there we are. Trying to see if it's hard to tell which side. This will be on the inside, I guess. All right, so what we will do next is we're going to put our interfacing pieces on the inside of both casing pieces. Here and here. Make sure you stay within the seam allowances. I'm going to take this to the ironing board and I'm going to press those in place. Okay, so here are my zipper casings. In the pattern, it'll instruct you as to how far to place your interfacing pieces from the edges. Okay, so I did that with both. And what you would need to do is fold in this side, press, fold in the other side, and either sides of the casing. Then fold it in half and press. So I did that for both pieces. Now we're going to align these pieces. I'm trying to see which is the best side. Well, doesn't matter at this point. All right. We're going to align these pieces on the zipper. Open it up. It tells you how far to go. And I am going to put double-sided tape on either side of the tab so that I can hold my zipper in place. So I'm going to do that right now. If you hear walking, that's my little one, my little dog. And if you hear barking, it might be my bigger dog, my German Shepherd. Going to remove the double-sided tape, the backing. That's one. Two. I'm going to cut these extra pieces, these little wings. My zipper. Okay. Fold it in half and tape it to my other side. There we go. Beautiful. And I will do the same to the other side. Alrighty. So now what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to stitch along the top, down the side, and at the back. Remember to back stitch in the beginning and end, all right? One side done. Okay. And there we are. Wait, I need to find my center of the zipper casing. And I will mark it with a heat dissolvable pen. Hopefully I can see. Yes, I can. Both sides. Okay, so I have marked my zipper casing, and now I will grab my lining with the pocket, my slip pocket, which will be the front piece. And now I will also grab my zipper lining. What you need to do is unzip the zipper pocket. Remember, this is where we're going to turn the bag through. So make sure it's open. We're going to unzip this. And we're going to place this piece on top. I'm going to line up my middle notches. So here's the notch I cut out earlier. There's my notch for the zipper casing. And why is there thread? There we go. And I'm going to clip everything in place. There we go. And now we're going to stitch that in place. Again, make sure you follow the pattern instructions with regards to seam allowance. Pattern really isn't difficult. To be honest with you, I have not watched the video. I am going strictly by the pattern. If I can follow the pattern, you can follow the pattern. The instructions are written beautifully. If you get stuck, refer to the video. You can refer to this video. You can go to Suzanne's video. But like I said, the pattern step by step is beautiful. Keep the pattern open, print it, or have it on your laptop, have it open while you're following the video, and just make sure you go by the seam allowances indicated in the pattern. All right, so that side is completed. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So we're going to turn this over, lift this up, face up, okay. There's my top notch. Here's my other notch. I'm going to line it up and do the same thing. Stitch that in place. Okay, other side done. And there we are. Okay, so this is my back, and this is my front, looking down into the bag. Now we're going to line these up. Hopefully you have marked your centers. This is my bottom center. I'm going to match them up. Clip them all in place. I'm not going all the way to the edge because I am going to cut my boxed corners. Using the same little tab that we did for the vinyl. Okay, I'm gonna mark my corner pieces. Hopefully I'm in frame. And I will cut those before I start stitching. I need a good pair of scissors. It's definitely on my wish list. Okay. Now we're going to stitch down both sides, either side of the lining piece. As well as the other side. Clip my sides. I'm not left-handed. I'm gonna try. Okay. Make sure that your zipper is out of the way. The top casing is out of the way. You don't want to get your pocket lining caught, so we have plenty of room on either side. we already know that this is already stitched down, so we're good there. So now we're going to stitch down either side and the bottom with the same allowance indicated in the pattern. Stitch, make sure you back stitch. I'm going to bring this around. Back stitch at the beginning and end. Alrighty. Now we're going to box our corners. Now I will be opening the seam allowance. Here we go. We are on the home stretch. I really love this bag. Line up my center seam. And I will be getting my regular clips versus my hair clips. One in the center. I'm going to do it the other side. And I'm going to stitch that closed. Now remember to go over the center stitching. Go back and forward. You want to make sure that that stays closed. If you add anything to the bag, if it's a little heavy, you want to make sure that that stitching in the center stays closed so that it doesn't open up and anything get through. See, little tab, just cutting that off. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so that's done. My lining piece, everything's boxed. Cut my extras threads. I'm going to pull my exterior. The exterior is going to be right side out. We're going to open the top casing. Okay. Remember, the interior, the lining side is going to be facing out, the interior in. Okay, make sure your pocket is out of the way. We're going to stick, make sure your pocket's out the way, make sure your back pocket is unzipped as well. Okay, because we're going to slip our exterior on the inside of this bag, exterior on the outside, that's on the inside. Okay, make sure if this is your front, where you're going to have your front pocket, front slip pocket, and where you want your zipper pocket. I want my zipper pocket in the back. I'm going to make sure it's in the back of the bag, and I want my slip pocket in the front. So I'm going to insert my exterior into my lining. It will be a little tight, but can make it fit. Slip right in. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to line, put your interior, your zipper inside the lining. Sorry, I'm not right. Guess I'm a little too close. All right. Make sure that your casing is on the inside of the lining, because you don't want to catch that in the seam allowance. Your tabs will be inside the bag, and you're going to line up your centers, and we're going to clip them all the way around. Remember, casing goes inside. Make sure that you have everything where you want it to be. This is my back. And I'm going to clip it all the way around. All right. Wanted to see if I was in frame. Obviously, I'm not. So, I'm going to clip the sides. Bring this up as close to the edge as I can. I'm going to clip these edges first. And then the other side. And I'll just worry about this as long as it's centered. There we are. Sorry if you hear any noises in the background. Okay, I'm going to keep clipping around. Yay! Nice. Alrighty. So I'm going to start stitching from the center. Normal seam, regular seam allowance according to the pattern instructions. Don't forget to back stitch beginning and end. Final stretch here, guys. Again, this is my first video, so I hope it wasn't too bad. I will be doing more. This is the first one I will be doing on my own. And I hope to learn from this. And hopefully you learned something from watching me as well. Okay. There we are. Okay, time to birth this bag. Now we're going through the pocket. Make sure all your stitches are caught. This is it. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pull the vinyl through first. This is going to be fun because I'm using vinyl. Feeling this is not as easy as I thought. Let's see. I think I'm sticking my hand through the wrong. Okay. Yep. I was pulling the wrong end of the vinyl. I was trying to pull it from the inside pocket. Inside vinyl pocket, but now coming through. I'm gonna keep pulling. There it is. Just keep going around. Yes, that's done. Now my lining. Inside the pocket. Stick my hand through the pocket. All right. Not bad at all. Look at that. Oh my God. I love this bag. Oh, the lining fits inside of it so nicely. Let me just close this up. Fits in there nicely. The outside. Okay. Sorry. There you go. I'm going to change my thread, go back to black, and then we're going to top stitch the whole thing. Before I do that, I'm going to close my pocket. So since I was folded in the edges, now I will clip this in place and stitch it closed. All right, pocket is closed. Burn my edges. Grab those threads. There we go. That's all set. Make my pocket on the inside. Make sure I grab those corners. And there we go. That's all done. All right. I'm going to change my threads to black. I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I changed my thread to black, we're going to top stitch the bag closed. Now, what you want to do is fold the casing inside. We're going to stitch that down. Make sure that the clips is not leaving indentations on my vinyl. Now, make sure your tail is inside the bag. We'll check everything. And I am going to start on the side seam. Make sure you are in frame. Let's see if I can bring you a little closer. Don't forget to backstitch the beginning and end. And especially since it's at the side tab, I want to make sure that that stays in place because you're going to put items in your bag and you want to make sure that it doesn't pull. And pull your clips as you go, making sure everything lays flat. Take it slow. Okay, we are done. Going to clip my threads. Burn my threads. I add more fuel to that. I think this is fine. Just double check. Yes, I know it's final. It'll be fine. There we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Last part are the straps. Is the strap. So I'm using 2.5-inch webbing. And the first thing we're going to do is grab our strap adjuster. We're going to go up, down the center, I'm going to fold it probably about 1/2 inch or less. I like to hide the seam. I did burn it earlier, so that's all set. And I'm going to stitch that in place. Okay? I'm going to stitch as close to the edge as I can. And I'm going to go backspace the beginning and the end. And as close to the outer edge as possible without going over. And I have to be careful as to how close I'm going to get to the buckle. Let's see. All right. My threads. There we go. Okay, so after you put on your strap adjuster, we're going to grab one of the D-rings. I mean the swivel hooks. Make sure that it is on the outside. I'm going to have this on the inside. This is going to be on the outside. So, like this. We're going to go back up. top, back down to the bottom. There's your adjuster. And now at the end, make sure you keep your strap straight. We're going to put the other swivel hook at the end through and tuck the edges under like I did in the beginning. And I'm going to finish this off the same way. And then I'm finishing it off right here. Okay, that's it. Strap is done. Bag is complete. Burn my threads. There we are. Let's attach it to the bag and show you the whole thing. The final product. This is the back. Okay, and she is done. I hope you like it. I will put the description in the box below where you can get this pattern and all the materials that I've used. Inside pocket, inside front pocket with the snap. Actually, that's the back. This is the front side pocket. Nice and big. Go on the inside. Slip pocket in the front. Big enough for an iPad. Zipper pocket in the back. Love it. Absolutely beautiful. I'm excited about this pattern. I hope you like it. I hope I have encouraged you to pick up the pattern. Again, I don't think it's difficult. I'd say probably a confident beginner can do this bag. Definitely if you're afraid to work with vinyl, you know, work with fabric, cotton, woven cotton, or even waterproof canvas. Just give it a try. Hope you give it a try. Thank you.